activity will have neither good plumbing nor good philosophy. Neither its pipes nor its theories will hold water. Tempted to think for a moment, what if Daniel had fudged in some areas? What if there had been a little extra payoff for privileges given, or certain perks that had not been allowed by the man to whom he was accountable? As soon as this plan was made for him to be promoted, guess what happened? According to the scriptures, the administrators and the officials, upon hearing of this, tried to find a ground of accusation against Daniel. They tried to find grounds for charges in the area of his conduct, his private life, his personal dealings in government affairs. By the way, would that make you a little uneasy? What if that kind of thing went on at the place where you work right now? You're about to be promoted. Your peers disagree with the decision, and they set out to spy on you, to look deeply into the way that you conduct your affairs, to examine the books, to look through your past, to try to find areas where things are going on that have no business going on. Would they find something? According to the sacred record, quote, they could find no corruption in him because he was trustworthy and neither corrupt nor negligent. Finally, the men said, Daniel 6:5, we will never find any basis for charges against this man Daniel unless it has something to do with the law of his God. Did you know that that is the reason Daniel finally was thrown into the den of lions? These men contrived a plan that tricked the king into signing a decree that if anybody prayed and worshiped anyone but this statue of the king Darius, he would be thrown into a den of lions. Darius, in a hurried moment, signed the document, and it resulted in Daniel's being thrown into a den of lions, who, by the way, never took a bite. My friend and the late, great Vernon McGee has a great answer for that. I know why they didn't eat Daniel. He was 3/4 grit and the rest backbone. Daniel was a man of integrity. He could withstand that kind of assault. Could you? You see, years ago, Daniel had made a promise. He had promised his God that no matter what, he would not defile himself. He would not bring reproach against the name of the living God. He wasn't trying to be holier than thou. He was simply trying to be a man of his word. And he knew that with all eyes on him for the rest of his life, that it was a promise that put him at risk. All promises do that. There is no power in a promise, but there is great power that comes from a promise. Daniel is a man who illustrates the power of that kind of promise. He was a man who years ago as a teenager said, no matter what, I will not defile myself with the luxuries of the palace, and in effect, I will not bring reproach on the name of my God. Daniel is one of the few people in the scriptures against whom there is not brought one sinful charge. I'm not saying he was sinless. I'm simply saying there is no record of some moral, ethical, private, personal, marital failure in Daniel's life. He was a man of his word. Is it worth it to live like that? Is it worth it to fulfill the promise of, or the commandment of Peter in 1 Peter chapter 1? As obedient children, listen to this, as obedient children, do not be conformed to the former lusts which were yours in your ignorance. 1 Peter 1:14. 15 says, but like the Holy One who called you, be holy yourselves in all your behavior, because it is written, you shall be holy, for I am holy. Say that with me. You shall be holy, for I am holy. Say it again. You shall be holy, for I am holy. When Isaiah the prophet was caught up in that marvelous moment of the mixture of grief and adoration, having lost his friend King Uzziah, he saw the Lord high and lifted up, and he witnessed the angels with 3 sets of wings. With 2 they covered their face, with 2 they covered their feet, and with 2 they flew, and they surrounded the throne of God. And you could hear the antiphonal voice of the angels. Holy, 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 holy. Let's do that together. Holy, 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 holy is the Lord God of hosts. And the Lord saw Isaiah. And Isaiah saw the Lord, and he said to him, woe is me, for I lack integrity. In effect, his literal words were, I am undone. I am a man of unclean lips, and I dwell in the midst of people of unclean lips. I believe Isaiah was a man who struggled with profanity. And when he saw the Lord holy and lifted up, he remembered back to his promise as a prophet that he would go wherever God sent him, and he would do whatever God led him to do. And in that moment of worship, he realized there was something missing in his own life. So he said, I am a man of unclean lips. I run around with men who talk like that, and I've picked up the habit. Remember the story? One of the angels took the tongs from the altar and picked up one of the hot coals and flew to Isaiah and touched his lips.